Hey, Mom, I'm doing this interview. I'm gonna be a little bit. I don't know. As long as it's interview class, I don't know. Put on my shirt. Okay. God, man. Had a couple more beers, man. Shit.
Mac Friday, Devil's Digest. Chase, you guys seem to really flip the switch on defense at halftime. What was that message, and how'd you guys pull that off?
Really, I think we was doing what we were supposed to do the whole game. You know what I mean? It was just those third downs. We was covering up the dudes in the back end, but number two, the quarterback, he was finding some rushing lanes to get over, to scramble and get the third down. So I think now, finally, after the halftime, we just kind of told each other, yo, bro, if we're gonna play man, we're gonna basically do a spy on the quarterback, and it ended up working to our favor. We got some sacks and got the pressure we needed, and got J5 and all them the ball. So I think we did a good job in the end, but we just gotta, we gotta start fresher and start better.
Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Good to see you guys, man. It's been a minute.
Too.
You had a hell of a pass breakup. Second half, you cut in front of a guy, smacked it down. What did you see on that play? What was your read? What was going on that play particularly?
Really, the whole game I was playing nickel. I was playing in the inside a lot. And then JC, our other nickel back, he wanted to go in the game, so I told him I'll play corner. And it was my first time really playing corner against the team. It was really, I just asked Mason and Jack what kind of routes they was giving them, and they said a lot of deep outs. So I just trusted my eyes, and just made a play.
Jaden Michael Caracino, believe in Pac-12 football. Do you feel that, at least in the first half, that their secondary was just was switching a lot of things up? Because it seemed like you were dropping back and looking, and then that's why you're just taking off running. Did they do stuff you didn't expect?
I mean, they kind of like comboed a lot of our routes. They played us really well the first half, the passing game, especially down the field. That's why I was having a lot of stuff underneath, and if everything gets soft and they gonna key Rashad, I mean, they don't have nobody to count for me, so that's why I can use my legs to hurt them.
Hey, Jaden, Cole Bradley, WCSN. Without Trainum tonight and then Ngata for, it seemed like a quarter there. What was sort of was the game plan just for you to sort of, just find holes in the open field and sort of just take off when need be, or was that just sort of a in the moment thing, like this is what works?
I was just in the moment. The game plan is never for me to rush for how many every yard I rush. It's to run the ball, play action pass, get the receivers going, get the running backs going. Rashad and them did a hell of a job. The receivers did a hell of a job. But, I mean, if they're going to give me those opportunities, I'm going to take them. Because as long as we can stay on the field, as long as I can help the team win, I'm going to do whatever it takes.
LV, Brad Denny, 3TV, CBS 5. Over the offseason, you changed your number to number 6 in honor of your father. What did that touchdown mean for you?
Man, everything. I told him next season before he passed, I was going to score for him. And then when he passed, I just always thought about it. And as soon as I got the ball, I had to score.
Daniel Almeida, the Right Way Sports Network. Chase, I just wanted to ask you about halftime, right? You guys were going, a little rough stretch. What goes on in the locker room, right? You're one of the leaders. What are you telling these guys? Like, what really happens in that locker room?
I think I can speak for me and J5. We really just let the coaches take over in the halftime. We got to make the adjustments that we've made, kind of ask the coaches up in the box what they're seeing and what type of splits and everything. But honestly, man, you got to give it to Coach Hearn, man. Everything that he says before we go out there and just gives us kind of like key notes. Like, you got to stop the run. We got to stop the quarterback. We got to stop this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And I can't say nothing to these boys, man. We're already ready, man. We've been practicing. We've been training for the past 6-7 months. And we've been waiting for these moments. And I think we're just ready to go. And I'm glad we got the dub. And now it's on to BYU.
Congratulations.
That's one of your teammates, Darren Butler. He's usually in here. He had a hell of a game, 2 sacks, I think 7-8 tackles. What does he mean to you guys on either side of the ball, really?
Bro, from the defensive standpoint, he means everything. He's literally everything. The first play is always Black. Black's doing something. Either he's blitzing or he's covering a tight end, making a play on the ball. But you seen him, man. 2 sacks tonight, 2 interceptions the other night. He's doing the damn thing, man. I'm so proud of him. He's really the reason why our defense and our whole team is like this, man. He's been a captain for 4 years, and I'm just happy and blessed to be playing with him, man. Really.
Carson Barber, Sun Devil Source. Jaden, how would you evaluate just the overall performance of the passing game today?
Yeah, I feel like we got it going. It's something, like I said last week, it was something to build on. We kind of had like more of a balanced attack this week, passing and throwing, let the receivers make plays. Because we know next week that is going to be tough. BYU is going to be a tough opponent. Not going to let us run the ball as much, so we're going to have to make big plays down the field. And LV and the other receivers, they did a hell of a job making those catches. I mean, there's a couple drops, but that's just low stuff we could clean up to next week. But, I mean, overall, just as an offense, I feel like we played a lot cleaner than last week.
Gabe Swartz, Devil's Digest. Rashad, dating back to last year, the last 4 games, you've had multiple touchdowns in all 4. What's allowed you to have so much success against different looks and different teams, even as they've started a game plan for you even more?
I would say, honestly, just my team. My start up front with the big guys, offensive line. Like I said, they do a great job of dominating the line of scrimmage. And then you got, the tight ends, and you got everybody that pours into it, like all 11 players out there, wide receivers, everybody blocking downfield or just making a block, doing their job. So I'll just say my teammates, things like that. And like I always tell them that I'm going to run right behind them. And we just going to do what we do and, never force nothing. Just let stuff come to me.
Chase, how would you assess the defense just after 2 games?
Man, we didn't get a turnover. We didn't get a turnover today, so that kind of hurt us. But I think we've done a real good job, man. We get coached by some of the best coaches in the world, man. Marvin Lewis, Donnie Henderson, AP, man. There's so many positives to it. Do I think that we could step up some things? Of course, you know what I mean. There's always room for improvement. But overall, man, I'm really happy for us. But I'm never satisfied.
LV, talk to me about that double move, man. Like that double move, you made life pretty easy for Jaden, wide open right there. Just talk to me about that play.
Well, as soon as I heard the play, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I saw the corner. He was playing like kind of a cover 3 looks. I knew that if I ran vertical, he had to take it. No matter how hard or how weak the post was, he had to respect it. And as soon as I broke out, I just saw him pass my face, and the rest is history.
Do y'all know how many yards they had?
In the second half, they had like 15.
15?
15 in the second half.
Overall, do you know how many? Not really. It's like 100 and something. 155? 5 yards off from that. Coach AP said we got to hold to 150 every game. It was close. It was close.
Everyone good?
Man, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Look at Coach Hart calling me right now. What's up, OG? Look at it.
I thought the first half was kind of a slow, methodical football game, to be quite honest, that both teams only had 3 possessions. Our first possession, we obviously turned it over, and that was never good. And then I think it was just the way the game was played for them. The quarterback did a really nice job making some first downs with his legs. I think both quarterbacks, you saw that the first half of the game, both quarterbacks were the runners for the most part. I thought the second half, we kind of settled down a little bit and got off the field defensively. I think they only made 1 first down in the second half. So we kind of figured the quarterback thing out. And then we were able to cover their guys and really stop the run for the most part. That's what we were concerned with coming into this game. And the quarterback hurt us early. We ran the ball fairly well. Now, Jaden, and I didn't anticipate he's going to run it for 129 yards. It's good, but not so good. I don't want him running that much. That's too many runs for him. quite honest. But he helped us win this game with his legs. A lot of times left the pocket, he made some plays with his legs. And as I told you folks before, when we run the ball for over 200 plus yards, you know, we generally win games. So I think we're 10-1 now when we run it for over 200 plus yards. So that's always helpful. We cleaned some things up a little bit, but we still got to get our passing game in sync. We got a little lazy-eyed a couple of times. We dropped some balls there in the third quarter, which is a little disappointing. We got to get some rhythm into that. I think it's Jaden's 6th game now with the receivers. So we got to get that in tuned. For the most part, I thought Nagata came in and did a nice job of running the football. So we anticipate Chip being back next week. But for the most part, you win a football game. I keep saying it's hard to win a game. It's really hard. It's just, you see it every week. You scratch your head, but it's college football. It's just what it looks like. There's only 3 teams now in the Pac-12 that haven't lost a game. You think about it, it's just, you know, and BYU's beat 2 Pac-12 teams. So what do you say about that? Questions?
If you don't mind passing them along too.
Hey, Coach, Mac Friday, Devil's Digest. UNLV had 136 yards in the first half, 19 in the second. What was your halftime message, and how did you get the defense to flip that switch?
Third quarter, I talked about it Friday night in the meeting. Just sensed that it was going to be kind of one of those games, you know, just kind of get a feel for your football team. And I told them the third quarter, that's when we're going to have to go. We got in at halftime. I said, okay, it's the third quarter now. And now we made the adjustments. You guys got to go play. It just, you know, just let's do this now. And to their credit, they did a good job in the third quarter. Both sides of the football got some points on the board. And I told Coach, by the way, when we kicked that last field goal, that I wasn't trying to run score up. We just needed to get our field goal kicker a kick because he hadn't kicked a field goal yet all year, right? So I just wanted him to kick a field goal. I made sure Coach needed to know I wouldn't do that. I wasn't trying to do that. So make sure that was it.
Coach Michael Carrasino, believe in Pac-12 football. Congrats on the win. And you talked about obviously Jaden's rushing. I mean, it looked like in the first half he was dropping back, screening the field. Was there secondary from what you noticed is kind of maybe tweaking some things different than you guys saw on film?
No, I don't know that. I think sometimes Jaden, because, you know, when he sees daylight, he just feels like, well, hey, I can go make a first down. And obviously did that numerous times. But I just think it's more of him maybe spending a little bit more time in there and not taking off so fast, you know, but that's easy for me to say. I don't have 4 guys running after me, right? I'm standing on the sideline where it's safe, except for the one time they got me. You know, my old younger days, I could have jumped over that, but I was like, it was coming at me. And I was like, can I jump over this? Time I decided it was too late, got me. But yeah, I mean, you know, Jaden, it's just, you know, he's going to make some plays. It was like, you guys have watched him do this before, but we got to be careful. You know, 13, you ran 13 times. That's too much.
Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Coach, good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First of all, are you okay? Like, you got to go to the trainer? What are we doing here?
Did you see how fast I jumped out? I asked the guy to roll over, that young kid. He was a pilot. Coach, I'm sorry. I said, don't worry about it. You okay? We'll make sure he was okay.
What can you tell me about what Darren Butler means to your defense?
Oh, he's well, obviously he's a team captain, but his enthusiasm and his energy, I think, really it gets us going, you know. And he was one of the guys that coming in on the third quarter. I said, hey, let's go, let's get him going now, you know. And AP called a good game. The second quarter, we adjusted. The coaches did a nice job up in the box. And that's what football is about. It's really about, you have this plan in the first half. Well, if you really think about it, when you go in at halftime, both parties, the opponent and yourself, you're looking at what people did in the first half. And you're going, okay, how do we adjust? And that's where adjustments are made. And so I thought we did a nice job of adjusting. AP started bringing some pressure. And that kept the quarterback in the pocket. We clogged it up in the middle where he couldn't go, and we brought some outside pressure with our speed and got to the quarterback and hit him some, right? And then all of a sudden it's a different game when the quarterback feels that. And we were able to do that in the secondary. We put the onus on them. We said, you got cat coverage, cover your cat. And, you know, it's easy to say that, but then they got to go do it. And they did a nice job of that for the most part.
Earl Burnett with Casual Sports Radio. Coach, congratulations. With conference play getting ready to start, I'm kind of curious, how much of the game plan have you been holding back getting ready for that conference, especially in the passing game?
Well, I just think we're working on things every week. And I just think that that's kind of how we projected the season. When we came to training camp, we said, look, we're going to play our first game. We're only going to do this. We're going to play our second game. We're only going to do this. Third game coming up, obviously going to be a little bit different. And we're trying to get some young guys in the game, so we don't want to make it too much on their plate, right? But we're still trying to build our nucleus of what we want to do offensively and defensively. And we have some things more we can do on defense, but we practice them, but we haven't done them a whole lot. And I just think it'll be ready when the opponent we face, we feel like we got to do this, right? And so I think that's how you do it. That's how you do in the NFL, by the way. You just kind of plod your way and go, okay, we're getting ready. And now it's going to be go time now.
Carson Barber, Sun Devil Source. Coach, obviously the passing game was a huge point of emphasis throughout the offseason. Through 2 weeks and today specifically, how would you evaluate you guys' performance there?
It's okay. It's B-. It's a B-. It's got to improve, and I think it will improve. It's a 6th game with these guys. One thing to do it in practice, another thing to do it in the game. And it's been six times so far. We missed some, you know, Jaden missed a couple throws. We dropped some balls. I mean, all that adds up to it. But it's coming along. It'll be fine. I mean, there's a lot of football left. You know, there's we got a long season left. So it'll get better. The thing that I like, we can still run the football, finding ways to run the ball. We ran the ball pretty well tonight. We didn't have Chip. Gotta went in there. Kept saying he's a pretty good back. He shows he's a good back. He's a good running back. So it's fun to have 3 of them.
Yeah. Coach, last week I asked you about BJ Green. He got in, got a half sack today. Garen Stansberry got a sack. How do you feel about the youth on your defensive line and their performance?
They're doing, you know, they're funny. They both those guys, they're just they're so excited when they go in the game. They don't know what to do. You imagine Green, where he's come from, is like he's almost leading the team in sacks. Right? I mean, it's just amazing, the guy. And the more you watch him, you just love the kid's attitude. Both of them, Stansberry. I mean, Stansberry, you can't slow him down in practice. The offense gets mad at him when he's on the look team over there. They get mad at him because he goes hard all the time. It's just, you know, we've been fortunate to have some freshmen like that. A couple of them come to mind is Merlin and Black, right? They came in as freshmen along with some other kids that came in as freshmen and played right away. And that's okay. And I think they're going to help us. And they're going to get better. It's a good thing. They're going to get better.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Coach, obviously you didn't have Chip today, and then Daniel went out. Can you tell us what exactly happened to Daniel? And obviously it's a great boon to have 3 guys that are that good in case 1 or 2 are banged up.
His thumb was over here. Then they put it back in there, and then he went back in. That's what happened. We kind of got, you know, went somewhere else. Got it fixed.
And then, Coach, obviously you're talking about the receivers, but just the growth of Ricky Pearsall. It seems like he's more comfortable in the offense, and obviously working with Jaden the last few months and even last year. But what does he mean to this offense and where it can go?
He's probably the most consistent receiver. When you think about all the things he can do, he can, you know, he can play in the slot, he can play outside. He's an excellent runner with the ball in his hand. He's kind of convinced me that he could play some option quarterback too. Probably can, but just his growth from where he's come from to right now, just watching him, his maturity, and just the type of player he is. He can run. You know, he can run too. So it's fun to watch him just get better in his confidence. I mean, he's over there coaching the receivers on that. Before he would just sit there. Now he's coaching them up. he's telling them, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. So it's fun to watch him develop. No doubt about that. Happy for him.
Coach, you touched a little bit on the overall defensive turnaround, but specifically on that first drive where you let up the 3 conversions on pretty much 3rd and long.
Yeah.
How did you address that to the team and respond specifically to sort of the shortcomings there?
Quarterback makes a play. And they're on scholarship too. They got a good player. That's ball. I mean, the quarterback, when he leaves the pocket, we always say you gotta know what a quarterback. Like Jaden. I mean, when Jaden dropped back, I could see he's getting ready to run. I mean, because there's nothing there. The quarterback took off, right? And we saw that on tape. And he made some good plays, and they were excited, and they went on a 16-play drive. It was probably good for us, in the fact that when you think about it, that's a conditioning drill too. Now, you don't get a lot of those, but it's good for you because you just got the mentality of it. And our guys knew that, eventually we had to keep him in the pocket. We felt like if we could keep him in the pocket, we had a pretty good chance of covering their guys. And then eventually the pocket collapsed because then we started bringing some pressure and we got to him. And, this is a talent. This team has some talent. They do. I mean, it's not like they don't have any talent. I think sometimes, when coaches are trying to build programs, you look at the wins and losses, and I get that. But I think you also got to look at when you watch tape on them, you watch how they play. They last week they played in the game, they lost, and they basically scored 27 points in the last 4th in the overtime period. So the momentum, they had momentum coming into this, right? And sure enough, we drive down the field, we throw an interception. They get the ball and they go all the way down the field. And the quarterback was the main guy. He got out, made some plays. They score, all of a sudden now they got some energy, right? And they're a college football team. They're not a high school football team. They're a college football team. They give those guys scholarships too. And that gave them energy. And if you think about them, the last 2 weeks, we've played 2 programs that basically are trying to build themselves. And when you play a team, Power 5 team, the Pac-12 team, it doesn't take much to motivate your team. And when you can score like that, and you get an interception like that, you got energy, right? So we had to work our way all through that. And then that's why you see football, you see these scores sometimes, you scratch your head, you go, I've been around a long time. It's a funny game, when you think, well, they should be this should be the score. In the beginning, it's 0-0. And how you react and how the emotions of teams go and how certain plays, you make a couple 3rd downs in a row, you're feeling pretty good. You're like, okay, we got some confidence, and it's just, I've been on those teams too, where I've coached those kind of teams where you make a couple 1st downs, you got some confidence, right? And all of a sudden, you're in a game and you're like, okay, you're excited. So I got to give those guys credit. They played hard, but eventually our guys kind of came together. And the 3rd quarter, that's when we kind of got going. Okay, thank you, folks.